Section 5.4, blue today. I know we very seldom get a blue, but there is a blue here, let me tell you. Okay, so for section 5.4 is about indirect proofs, and the book assumes that you did all the indirect proofs in the section before, so you got some background on it. I didn't think you really needed that background. We're just going to tackle it straightforward. Every proof we have done so far has been considered direct. We go from the given to the proof, and thus it is done. However, when we are doing indirect proofs, and it's in blue because it's not anything that you need to have memorized, but it is good information for you to know. When we are doing indirect proofs, we have to make an assumption that the negative of the conclusion is true. So we're going to say that since this thing is true, we need to prove that something is true, but we're instead going to say that it's false, which means the opposite must be true. And then we're going to show that we can't prove the opposite true, and therefore that must have been true originally. So you have to make an assumption that the negative of the conclusion is true, and use that the assumption follows to a contradiction of the known facts or given information, and therefore conclude that since the assumption follows that it was false, the original conclusion must have been true. It's an indirect proof. You cannot always use an indirect proof. However, if they are done with things that are if and only if statements, you can use indirect proofs. So you need to make sure that the statements that you're using are ones that are if and only if, that work going both ways. You understand what that means. And we'll do some of these in class, and it'll make you feel better. I think you'll like indirect proofs. But part of this whole section is no new at all properties, theorems, postulates, corollaries, none of it. So I will see you in the class. Bye.